not in the Elite 8 now, and we're going to have a couple new names.
Time for the semi-final of the Compounds Women's Individual Tournament. Semi-final number 2. We've seen Becerra from Mexico go through the first semi-final, and now it's 2 Indians going up against each other. It's time, of course, to go down to the shooting line.
On target number 1, representing India.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 1 für Indien.
Aditi Swami. On target number 2, representing India.
Auf Scheibe Nummer 2 für Indien.
Jyothi Surekha Vennam. The line judge for this matchup is
Der Kampfrichter für dieses Match ist
Woo Tsung-yi. The very first matchup between the 2 archers, Jyothi Surekha Vennam shooting on target 2, Aditi Swami on target number 1. 17 years of age for Swami. It's going to be
Well, first head-to-head between these 2 in an international tournament.
Shoot for bronze later today.
Es ist das erste offizielle
Swami,
Aufeinandertreffen
17
von beiden
years old,
Schützinnen.
goes up against a teammate more experienced, winning her first World Archery World Cup this season. Jyothi Surekha Vennam is 27 years old and the world number 6. I don't think we can even bother to talk about rankings. Swami looking solid.
Looking solid indeed, and looking, well, stone cold, pretty much. Like the previous match, she won with a 148 and a killer shoot-off, like an X in the shoot-off. So, not much to say about her in terms of,
10, 10.
well,
But then you get that arrow almost dead center from Jyothi Surekha Vennam. She showed she can handle the pressure though, Swami, and she puts it into the 10. Not quite as close to the center, but doesn't make any difference. Still a 10.
no, yeah, a 10 is a 10 in this case. In the shoot-off, it was very needed for her to shoot that X, because Sandra Laat also got a really good 10, but yeah. A 10 in this case counts as much as an X. What I do believe is, even though it's not on the senior circuit, Aditi Swami already has a world title in her, in her prize cabinet. It's under 18, obviously, but she knows how to become a world champion. Jyothi Vennam cannot say the same yet. She has had a bronze medal in 2019, and then in 2021 she got the silver. All of this season would lead you to believe that she has what it takes to get the gold, but she still has to do it.
She's got this teenager though in front of her, and both have shot a perfect through the first end. It's a fairy tale story in the making, potentially, for Jyothi Surekha Vennam. Bronze 4 years ago, silver 2 years ago. Surely it's got to be gold this year. She's got to get through this one, and then if she does, she's going to be up against a very tough Mexican. But right now, right here, it's too difficult to call this one.
It's almost as if this would have been the dream gold medal match, but that I don't want to disrespect Andrea Becerra, because
No, and I don't think you are.
yeah, I mean, for the story, I mean, it's basically Vennam in the experienced favorite for the world title, and then the child prodigy in Aditi Swami, already being a world champion under 18, looking for that senior world title as well in the same year even.
30 points.
The story
for
always
both
writes
archers
itself.
after the first set,
We can
so
all
we
but
look forward to the
predict
second
what's
set.
going on. But whoever comes through this, it's a great story for India, isn't it? And a testament to the investment that they have put into archery over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, you can see it in Sergio Pagni's face whenever they show that little camera that's on the scope. You can see just some proudness on his, some pride on his face.
We would say he's got the look of a Cheshire cat. Chef looking at me completely none the wiser. He's got a big grin on his face. He's happy with life.
9.
The first sign of a little bit of nerves here in this match. Although obviously, if you were to shoot in your backyard, even at the level that they are at, sometimes you'll shoot a 9. And this is what we've seen in the last match as well, where Jyothi Vennam got an opportunity to get the lead in the match, and she just didn't grab it.
10. That's it.
Now the grouping from Swami, very good. How will she adjust her sight for the final arrow? Just clipping a 9 for a 29. Surely she's got to look at her sight now, or at least where she's aiming, because it was a 10, it cut the line, but all slightly left. She just moves the group across. The height looks right.
And I think, and I'm hoping that we maybe get a bit of a view. Yeah, we can see in the background there's a windsock and it's blowing to the left side of the field. So I'm thinking both 9s of these athletes are probably due to a little bit of wind that they were caught off guard for.
Yeah, you see the flags in the background, as Chef was saying, just blustering over, as we look at it, to the right, as the archers face the targets, it's to their left. And the weather has played a big part. I mean, we talk about weather all the time, but it's played a big part here. I mean, we saw between rounds 3 and 4 in the knockout, the scores dropping by 10 points.
Yeah, in the elimination phase of this tournament, we've seen some, well, I don't want to be disrespectful again, but we've seen some very low scores from people, and then continuing to go on in the competition. So it shows that the circumstances were very tough and very difficult.
Yeah, and it's certainly not being disrespectful, because that drop in points between rounds 3 and 4 was across the board. Everyone was dropping those points because of the conditions.
Yeah, so in that regard, you would expect some new faces, some maybe surprises that have, punched their ticket to the Elite 8. But I think what we're seeing now in the Final Fours, no real surprises there when it comes to the compound women.
So a 9 from Vennam at the start of end number 3. The archers tied on 59 coming into it. And now Swami taking a mini lead. I call it a mini lead because we need to wait until the conclusion of the end to see if she holds it.
10.
I am quite literally on the edge of my seat for this match. It's a very cool matchup, and well, whoever wins this is going to make for a great story. And then it's difficult to, pick a side. And not that I want to pick a side, but it's for the neutral viewer. Like, you're either going to have Jyothi Vennam going for her first world title after being on the podium twice in the last 2 World Championships, or you're going to have, well, the talent, the 17-year-old talent
An interesting position here
getting
after
another
9
world
arrows
title,
shot. We have an
but
89
rather
to
than having an
88.
under 18 world title, getting it in the senior division, which would be
It's some story, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's some story. It's some story in the making. Like you say, whoever wins this, but you know, if you go with your heart, you want to see that bronze, silver, gold run from Venom in the last 2 World Championships into this one. But on the other side, it's been a season of new faces across the board in archery. Is Swami going to sort of continue that story here at the World Championships?
Well, I guess we're going to find out in the next 6 arrows.
The fence-sitting Chef van den Berg, our expert, a resident expert, doesn't like to be pushed into a corner to take a pick, that's for sure.
No, and especially not in this match. I mean, both such a good story, and just looking at their shooting, like from a technique perspective and from like a mental approach perspective, they look really comfortable, even though you can see that the pressure is on their shoulders. So yes, they are dealing with pressure, but they're not really faltering. Like they're dealing with it quite
They're
well.
managing it, yeah. So we come into the fourth, and it's Venom to shoot first, trailing by a single point.
9.
Stadium announcer is very quick to call that a 9, but I think the target judge will have a very good look at that arrow.
10.
No need to look at that one.
Not really plagued by any wind on the shooting line, I feel, but you could see that there was a bit of a wind on the venue just by looking at the windsocks in the background. But I think they've adjusted well with their sight settings. You can see that one end they kind of strayed a bit to the left, and now it's all pretty comfortable shooting for them, it seems. Especially considering the circumstances.
Well, provisionally a 29 for Venom. We think that might get marked up to a 30. Well, we have got a story in the making here. A 17-year-old getting another perfect score, her third out of the 4 ends. Aditi Swami on the brink of an historic win over her teammate here, Jyothi Surekha Vennam. We wait for the measure.
Well, looking at
Get a good look at the feathers on the arrow. I did notice there seemed to be a little cutout on one of the feathers on one of those arrows.
Yeah, and interestingly, she has shot that arrow in this match already. I don't know if she just doesn't care, but there is, like you say, a little cut or a little hole in one of the feathers, or veins as we would call them. And she just continues shooting it. Whereas if it were my arrow, even though it might not make a difference, if there is any imperfections and there's any doubt, I just put it to the side and then grab another one that doesn't have a cut in the vein.
Maybe it's a lucky arrow, but she didn't get any luck on that call. The stadium announcer got it bang on. 4-9 for Jyothi Surekha Vennam, so a 2-point deficit for the leading light, the world number 6 in India. She's got an awful lot of work to do in this 5th and final end, and there's, well, almost no sign of any kind of weakness in Swami. She was put under pressure in the quarterfinals. She handled it, even though it went to a shoot-off. Now 2 points ahead. I fancy the teenager may well progress here.
Yeah, this is not the situation that Jyothi Vennam wants to find herself in, actually, because she's 2 points behind, shooting against, well, stone cold Swami. she's just shooting as if she's having a bit of a training here.
Just look at the holes in that target, all in and around the 10 and the X. Just 1-9 from Swami. Only 2 from Vennam.
10.
Difficult times for Vennam. She's now hoping for a mistake from her teammate. Doesn't look like one is likely here. Well, that's the pressure.
And in a sense, relieving the pressure off of her teammate.
What a performance from the 17-year-old. 4 perfects from 5 ends. A 149 is very impressive at any stage of a competition. But here in the semi-finals of the World Championships, the junior world champion Aditi Swami is through to the gold medal match in the women's compound individual tournament, beating her more experienced teammate Jyothi Surekha Vennam. Chef, look, great stuff from Swami. She's through to the final. We're going to be talking about her in the gold medal match. But Jyothi Surekha Vennam is the leading light in India and part of this rise in the ranks. She is the poster girl for Swami, for sure.